Okay, I was unsuccessful getting the horses to follow me. They're highly motivated to stay down here where there's a lot of food. And you might say, there's food everywhere in the jungle. Apparently freaking not. Apparently horses only graze on certain kinds of grass, and so they can have an abundance of food around them and they are starving. So they're liking down here and they're not listening to me until I have some better food, which we can tie back into the point of this mission mile. So the 3 P's to have an abundant energy is as it relates to a solar system, okay? Number 1, production. And for this one lesson, I think on my own solar system, I have 40 panels all collecting sun. And the sun is very strong here. And so what that is for us is our brain. Our brain, through a process of converting glucose into electricity, creates and runs off of all the power that we need. It's not a whole lot, which gives you an idea of how efficient our systems operate. It's enough to run 1 incandescent light bulb. So you can increase the power, and it's an insignificant amount, but it's significant to our bodies. So our power, our energy, comes from our brain, and we have an abundant supply there. If our brain is able to then create this electricity. So, which then leads to production. Oh, no, production. You can tell the sun's cooking my brain. So the production within the brain happens with movement within the body. And so when we move our body via exercise, it increases how much wattage our brain produces. So in essence, our system, the more motor activation we have, the more solar panels we have, okay? So the brain is going to produce electricity. It's just a matter of getting muscle units to then contract and relax. And this is why exercise is quote unquote good for you, because it increases how much power your brain produces. And then that power is then sent to our body to repair it, heal it, control it, and do everything that we want it to do. So, production, solar panels, muscles that have the ability to contract and relax. Very important distinction there. They have to be able to contract and then relax. If they cannot relax, then that leads us to number 2, P, as I go up this miserable hill, which is the potential. So the potential is how much your body can maintain a relaxed state. So if, for example, you have muscles in your body that are constantly flexed, they're unable to create energy for the brain. In essence, there are solar panels that are disconnected. And that then, which I have learned is possible based on our programming. Because I have 40 panels to collect sun, endless amounts of sun. Even on rainy days, still enough sun. I have a 12 kilowatt inverter, morning Tanya, to collect this power. Yet, my inverter only shows me bringing in 5 kilowatts of energy. So, through a lot of investigation, I found out the reason is because the third P is our programming. And the third P can then directly affect the other two. Because in my inverter, it was only set to collect a certain amount of energy. So I had the panels, I had the batteries to store the energy, but the programming limited it. And then that limited power, it constantly kept the batteries on the low end. So in essence, killed the batteries, because batteries are meant to be fully charged, just like people are meant to be fully charged. It's not good to operate just above burnout all the time. It's good to burn all the way out and then fill all the way back up until you get to the point where everything's so efficient, you then are all the way full all the time. And so my programming and my software and my inverter was in essence killing my batteries. I mean, thousands, probably $10,000 in batteries over the last 3 years. And no one had an answer. And this reminds me of our current cope care system that we have. Keep dumping money into it. And the answers are always like, well, yeah, if we would have done this thing differently. Well, the vaccine would have worked if everyone did it. Mask would have worked if everyone did it. If we were just locked down for eternity, we would stop that pandemic. If we just put more kids on drugs, school shootings probably wouldn't have occurred. It's like this things in our healthcare system, our world, we've accepted because we all are exhausted, anxious, and in pain, just coping to get through our life until we eventually die of cancer, which is the byproduct of a low energy system. You want to do some research and understand cancer, I'm talking to you, Tanya, look at Dr. Yuri Gitrov. He has definitively stated that the way to survive cancer is to optimize the vagus nerve and HRV. He's done countless research projects. It shows that not only cancer is survivable, but survivable through treatment, preventable. And he's frustrated as he was meeting with chiropractors because he said, I presented this information to medical doctors, and the medical doctors community said when they stop paying for treatment, we'll start investing in this. So anything that you can do to optimize HRV directly reduces the risk of cancer and healing of cancer. If someone was bold enough to act without permission, aka take their power back. So this programming, then I started to modify, and then it overloaded, system overloaded again. And I realized there was something else wrong with the programming, that the max discharge and the max charging wasn't working. And in essence, what that is within us is our autonomic nervous system. And unlike my solar system that has a manual that's this thick, that the only way I can gain any kind of comprehension is by actually having a problem and then solving it. Our brain is perfectly designed to solve its own problems if we can simply get it reset. And that's what ended up happening. I ended up spending, another $5,000 on batteries because I thought it was my protection or my potential energy problem for the system. And then I ended up still having the same energy usage, same problem, the system running out of energy before it did everything I needed to get done. And then that led me to understand the programming side of things, which then I had to reset it in order to get it overloaded it because completely perfectly programmed, and then I reset it again, and now it's functioning more optimally. And so in essence, anything that requires or that creates an environment of what's called neuroplasticity within the brain is resetting the programming. And every time you reset that program, it's upgrading itself. So as of right now, as far as is my understanding, optimizing HRV and vagus nerve is the only way to create neuroplasticity. But as soon as I find other ways, I'm going to talk about it. But at this point, the majority of problems that, hey buddy, good morning, I'm a little sweaty. The majority of problems that people are having with low energy are because of the programming issue. So therefore, you need to create neuroplasticity within the nervous system, autonomic nervous system, in order to allow it to then increase the potential and then also increase the production. The other pieces are there. This needs to be reset a lot.